everybody. It's me, Indigo Twin. I am here to help Keela out tonight. She is in the back, but tonight we are here to discuss and remember Lisa McPherson. And if you guys bear with me for a moment, I can try to figure out how to present here. For people joining us, this channel is called Mental Health Matters. It is usually run by Keela, and lately I've been assisting her. I'm Indigo Twin. I go by Indigo. And we just thought on the anniversary of her passing that it's really important to keep this information out there for her and her story, because there's a good chance that people who are born into the cult in the last decade, or maybe have been roped in since the last decade, might not know who she is, and we want to keep her front and center, because she is a very good example of what happens to people who join in Scientology and who are kept from having made afraid of getting help from medical professionals, and in fact in situations like Lisa's are actively kept away from the medical professionals who can actually help save them. It's really one of the stories that got me involved in the movement to begin with, that made me want to take down this cult, was Lisa's story. So yes. And like I said, bear with me. I'm trying to figure out how to pull up a slideshow that I made. I think I can do it through presentation, but I just have to figure out what tab I am in. How do I? Hi, Misha.
Hi.
Hi. I'm trying to figure out how I add the file to the back room so I can pull up the slideshow we have for tonight.
If you hit the one, it should let you do where it says present.
You should be able to do it. Go to present.
Yeah, slides, but it's you don't have.
You have to pull up the window. You just have to pull up the window.
Oh, I gotcha. Okay.
Okay, I'm coming back down now. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
Hello, hello.
Hey.
Sorry, I'm
Here
late.
it is.
There we go.
And then we just want to go to full screen mode. Oh my gosh, guys, I haven't used a PDF format or like this format since I was in college a million years ago.
Definitely different.
Oh, it's very different. I'm like trying to just find the full screen button so I could just pop this up.
And with my blindness. Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I haven't used this in years. I am no help here. Would it not be layout? Or view? It'd be under view, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's also okay. Control,
Okay.
Shift,
You got it.
F1.
Yeah, there wouldn't be technical difficulties on this.
I'm
Right?
so sorry, guys.
I love you, Red T. Thank you. Hey, Patty, Tomas. Let me see who I got in here. Aria, thank you. Brian, hello. Candy's Life, hello. Yeah, finally
Hey,
arrived at
everyone.
the Melbourne org. Wow, T, I'm going to be watching that later. Let's see. Oh, that's me up there talking.
Yeah, we're on the side because I have the window pulled up. I just can't find the full screen
Indigo,
button.
where it said it had the little picture of the uh, camcorder. That's
Oh,
going
here it
back.
is. Oh my God, a camcorder, guys. Does everyone know what a camcorder is even?
That's taking us back too, huh?
Right? Jeez.
So let me explain my thumbnail. Hey, Cricket Cinema. Um,
Oh,
so Erin had
got it.
had restored her book. Hey, Candy, I see you. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to come on camera right now, but I'm here. Last year, Erin restored her brick, and because they tried to destroy her brick. Hey, Mandy, and because it's right out front, and I captured that, and it's been on my header on my Twitter for a year now. And I thought about it. I'm like, I wish I had her brick, a picture of it. And I said, duh, Keela, go to your Twitter and pull it off. So I really wanted to thank Aaron for doing that, because he keeps, I mean, he sat there that day and restored her brick. And she meant something to people. And with this dead gum cult, how bad it can hurt.
Yes. So, just some quick background that this is Lisa. I wanted the opening slide just to be a picture of her so that you guys can see just from this picture. I mean, even without the background of knowing her story, like you could see she just had a beautiful light in her. I mean, I'm getting emotional looking at this picture because I know her story. But she was born February 10th in Dallas, Texas, and when she was asked why she joined Scientology, she said that she was going through something hard in her life, and she thought that they were the ones that could help her through it.
Isn't that what a lot of us?
And it's just so heartbreaking to hear those words. Those are her words, and it's kind of heartbreaking.
Brian, I agree with you. They did mess her up. It's sad because they don't believe in mental health, and she probably would be here today. We don't know, but we don't not know.
Yeah. And this is I don't want people who believe in self-help to completely disregard those tools. But the big red flag that you need to know is that Scientology took legitimate self-help techniques and twisted them into what we know today as their brainwashing routines, TRs and all that. And if, maybe if she had spoken to a self-help person that wasn't Scientology, she could have found the help she needed without getting involved with the cult. Um, but the big thing in Scientology is they want you to go on the bridge to total freedom. They want you to be clear because they believe that when you get to that level that you'll be able to save the planet. Um, what they don't tell you is all the money they're going to harass out of you, that they're going to isolate you from everybody you know, prevent you from getting medical help from actual medical professionals, um, and that they're going to replace knowledge about, proper use of vitamins. They misuse niacin and vitamin regimens as part of their God, I don't even want to say sound technique, as part of their rundown. There we go. And that's extremely dangerous. Doing saunas, even without all that in your body, because you're in high heat, it can be dangerous without adding the niacin, without forcing you to stay in there for 8 hours a day, or however long they're forcing people into. Yeah, and CalMag. Yeah, it's a dangerous concoction because they don't know. Oh yeah, niacin on its own is very dangerous. And so they don't know what mixing and matching these chemicals is doing because they don't look at medical science. You know, he makes people afraid to trust doctors. And the thing with Lisa was that she, had gone through the bridge to total freedom, and she had been made this poster child for going clear. Um, and through reading multiple people's memoirs, it was really Miscavige who was responsible for that, for declaring her clear. And,
Allegedly.
thank you, allegedly, right? We have to put those in there, guys, because unfortunately, um, it wasn't actually he wasn't convicted of anything. But what's really sad is she showed signs before this breakdown that she wasn't okay. It's not like that these people join Scientology, they go to the status of clear, and then one day they wake up and lose it. You know, it's a lot of factors that go into it. Well, first of all, they run you ragged for 12 to 14-hour shifts. They don't feed you correctly. Um, if you're not getting the nutrients that your body needs, and you're not getting a full night's sleep, as our dear sweet Keela knows recently, it really affects you.
Indigo, I was thinking about, what I was thinking about this, you know, just in the malnourishment and but the bite model,
Mm-hmm.
and that isolation, and it was horrible.
Yes. And for people who aren't aware, the bite model has been used to describe, it's an acronym for behavior, thought, emotion. What's the I? Behavior.
I have no camera on.
Yeah, no, I'm just looking. So basically, information. So basically, what um, high demand religions or groups like this do is they target you when you're in a vulnerable state. Like Lisa said, she was going through something extremely difficult, and she thought that this
Thanks, Dan.
group could help her. So
That's Whitney Mills, Mandy. That's not even 2 years ago, I think. Sorry, Indigo.
Oh no, you're good.
I'm not able to type, so I'm gonna have to.
Yeah, no worries. If you see something that you want to respond to, that's fine. Just tell me to pause. And um but that's what they do. They start with your behavior, right? If you follow our course for self confidence, right? Buy this book, follow all the steps. Then as you kind of get deeper into your first course, which might be $25, might be 10, they lure you in with a low price, and then they say, okay, now that you've done this first course, we really want to give you more information about our program, our special program that you can't get anywhere else, that will offer you something so mind-blowing that it will change your life. And then when they rope you in to buy Dianetics, and then start your first TR course, and then now they're saying only listen to us, you know.
That was for T. She's coming.
Oh, she's here. Hi, T. I can't see the chat because I'm running the.
No, you just do your thing. You're doing good. T's gonna jump in.
But so they start with that, then they limit your outside information, and they say, okay, now that you followed our rundown where we've put you in a sauna, given you niacin, given you vitamins, made you run in circles, whatever. You know, now we're going to keep you away from.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey. I'm just
Beautiful.
You've been busy.
Oh mate, I'm exhausted. I just popped to the shop to get everyone drinks. But have a look where I am.
Hey.
Hey.
Can
church in Melbourne.
Can we make her
I'm live with Mental Health Matters.
Hello.
We've got D5 here.
Hi.
Hey.
Nice to meet
hello,
you.
everyone. From the future.
From the future. Yeah, let's pop them up here.
Oh, sorry, I can't hear you. A tram's going past. Give me 1 second. I'll show you our signs. So we were here last night. Hang on, I'll just put everything down. We were here last night and we did a vigil. We all sang Amazing Grace with candles and everything. It was so nice. Hang on, sorry, I'm just dishing out the drinks.
I can't wait to see that on the replay.
Oh, I know.
I unfortunately was asleep when you were doing that.
Yeah, no, I know. It would have been the middle of the night. But yeah, feeling it today. I'm so tired because there's only a 3-hour difference. But I don't know. Hang on 1 second. There you go.
Dude, I feel the same. 3 hours is a lot of hours.
Turn the camera around. Oh, whoops. How do you turn the camera around? More settings, camera.
I do it every time too.
Turn it. Back, ultra wide. Oh, there we go.
Oh wow.
Right, she's got her iced coffee.
Look.
Oh, look at that sunlight I'm jealous of.
It's 86 degrees here at the moment, and it's like sticky and humid. It's yucky. So yeah, so we're
there. It is.
And I've got my son here. He's got his favourite sign.
Oh, where is he at? Tell him I said hello, honey.
Honk if you think it's a cult. Amazing.
Yeah, because he gets all the beats. He likes it. And then we've got this one.
Oh wow! Look at that. I like that one.
Allegedly.
I like that.
I mean, if you know, you know, but allegedly for safety reasons.
We know.
Sorry.
We're saying
on your sign, so we're just throwing out allegedly when you had your sign because, you know.
Oh yeah.
They get weird.
Right. They know. We were here last night. I'll tell you about that later. It's very windy here, so they keep blowing over.
I love that autonomy,
I love it.
auditing. That's great.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'll show you the church quickly, or the church, quote unquote. There's actually heaps of cars here today. Loads. There wasn't hardly any.
That's the busiest I've ever seen in Oregon, I think.
It's very busy. There's heaps. They've done blind tech already. But yeah, there's loads of cars.
Wow.
Maybe if they close the blinds, you'll disappear. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Nope, we're still here.
So I can't zoom in on StreamYard, but all the cars, there's so many.
Wow.
Yeah. They've got a Christmas event. Interesting.
Interesting. I thought they don't believe in Christmas. Okay.
I was going to say, don't they not, let you leave and
but any chance, mate,
give presents or anything unless you're giving money to allegedly to David Miscavige's Christmas present?
Yeah. Nico, hang on. Nico said, when I get to the org, I can join. Okay, that would be great, Nico. Yes, everybody that's protesting, please. Wow, I can't stand that word. That word should not even be there. No, not in this cult.
Exactly.
No, I'm not. Okay
I don't know if you've seen this org.
Isn't it interesting?
I've never seen this. See, this is the first time I've seen this. Thank you.
Okay, I'll take you down.
Oh, this is the first time I've seen
but
the
look at
whole
all these cars, though, mate.
Oh my goodness! How many kids are?
They've got the volunteer vultures van. So what happened last night? We were here for about 3 hours, and sorry, I feel like I'm hijacking your stream.
No, go for it. No, please.
No, it's important.
So this is a purification centre. It's like a separate building. That's where they do the purif. So what happened last night was we were here for 3 hours. We did a bit of a protest, and we waited for the sun to set. I got the times wrong, and I thought that the sun set at 6, but it didn't. It went at sorry, my words are a bit today. The sun was setting at 8. So we waited 2 hours for the sun to set. Then we lit candles, and then we sang Amazing Grace, which was really beautiful.
Wow.
And then we stayed until they closed, which they closed at 10. About 9:30, they sent security to basically make sure that all their staff members were safe while they were leaving.
Oh my goodness, what were you going to do to them?
I know. Well, I don't know what they thought we were going to do. Hang on one sec. You okay, honey? If I can snap a water? I'll be back in a minute. You're all right. You can put it down. You don't have to hold it. So you can see how big this building is. I'm just walking around it. So anyway, they sent their security to make sure that their staff were okay leaving, safe and everything. And then, we've got trams here. They ding their bells at the honk if you think it's a cult sign. It's really funny. Like it's massive, this building.
Wow.
There you go. Can you hear them honking?
I can. That's amazing.
It's amazing. I love it.
I remember that when you had Miriam there too, they were honking.
Yeah.
That was great.
So anyway, all the staff left. There were 12 staff members. There were only about 3 public there and 12 staff members. So anyway, when they all left and they shut the gates and they drove away, we were waiting for one of our friends. She was on a mobility scooter, and we were trying to get her a taxi, and we were having a lot of trouble. And we were there for over an hour and a half trying to get this poor lady a taxi. And they kept sending the wrong type of car. So we were walking up and down, and I looked through where oh my God, the beeping. I went down where that volunteer minister's van was, and I saw a lady standing behind the van, like a staff member. And she was hiding from me, and she was on the phone.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, what on earth is going on? I think she was scared. I think they thought we were going to break in or something. And the security van was doing laps around the org.
Wow.
Like, what on earth? What do they think we're going to do? You know, I mean, look, this is still their building. Look how huge it is.
That is humongous.
And they've got kids' toys there. I
Wow.
think what's in those boxes. That looks like.
No more kids in Scientology, please.
Kids cannot consent.
Kids cannot consent.
I mean, what we want to try and do here is get some sort of regulation on the auditing or something, you know?
Yeah.
Like 18 or whatever, or I don't know. It's just not right. It doesn't sit right. So yeah, this lady. So anyway, she hides behind the van, this staff member, and I was like, oh my God, she's scared of us. They are genuinely scared of suppressive people.
Hey, Katie.
And that's a really sad thought, to think that somebody's scared of me when I'm not there to harm them, you know? So I just
shouted why? It's that information control where they...
Yeah.
The thing is, I think if, when I go out, I actually don't stream.
Yeah.
And part of the reason for that is because, well, maybe not now that I've actually been protesting, but it's because I would go up to them, I would talk to them, be like, look, I'm just a human.
Yeah.
You're just a human. I'm not scary. You know what I mean? They just make us seem like such monsters, but all we're really saying is think for yourself. We'll hold the floor for you if you need to speak or whatever. Oh, did we lose T?
Uh-oh. I don't know.
It's good to see you, Kate T.
Yeah, I think we did. She'll come back.
She'll come back. She'll probably lost signal.
Yeah. That was really neat and interesting to get to walk around from their perspective in the future.
Yeah, I didn't realize they had a separate building for the Purif, which is kind of scary.
It's
they just shove you in a building.
Yeah. Hey, Barbie, how are you?
It's good. Oh, she's back.
Yeah.
Stream this to your audience. Let
me get.
It's all right. I was trying to log into StreamYard to stream it to my audience too, but then it cut me off.
Wouldn't let you do it.
So like, I'll cut a long story short. Sorry. So, I was concerned about this lady and how she felt about us. So I actually shouted out to her. I said, mate, it's okay. We're just trying to sort a taxi out. They've sent like three cars that are wrong. I said, we're not here to hurt you. I promise you, please don't worry, and she just hid more, she was just like, just went into hiding more, which I just found so heartbreaking. We don't want to hurt anyone.
No.
So that's what happened. Yeah.
Oh, and it's heartbreaking to hear that, because I just think, like, if I think about my own story and think if, I had been targeted at my most vulnerable moment,
Yeah.
because like the lack of sleep, you're not getting nutrients that you need because they're not feeding you a healthy diet. Like all of that also goes into an emotional reaction. So even if what you were saying was, here's a sandwich, you look hungry,
I know.
they are so exhausted that the sandwich is scary. You know what I mean? It's just like the state you're in when you don't get good sleep. It just messes with your head so badly.
And I just
really
had to
sad.
say that to her. I just wanted her to know. I mean, she probably didn't believe me, but
Hey, you've done an amazing job. I want you to know that. You're an incredible human being, and you're my friend. And I appreciate you and the sacrifices that you make to help
guys.
people.
You're amazing as well, being here for everyone. And I mean, this lady that we were trying to get a taxi for is also incredible. Do you know what she did? She rode on her mobility scooter. She was trying to get down, and she was going to like get like I don't know, like one of those special buses and stuff to put her scooter in. She decided to come from North Melbourne down the cycle path because it was quicker. It took her 3 hours, and this is in the baking sun. You're talking like 95 degrees.
Is she okay?
Yeah, she's okay. She's a legend.
She didn't like pass out or anything.
Aussie battler. Man. She rocked up with like chicken and chips and drinks, and like she was a legend. And then she was here for I don't know a couple of hours, and then it was time to sort of go home. All the staff were leaving, and then we couldn't get her home. We were just like, because she was going to go home again up this cycle path for 3 hours in the dark. I said, no way, no. And all the viewers were really beautiful, sending super chats and PayPals and stuff. And we ended up kind of like just all putting the money in to pay for a bus to get like a special taxi to get her home. And it was like they kept sending the wrong car. They sent a normal car. We tried different companies, but yeah, we got her home in the end. But it was just a nightmare for her, and it just shows how like the infrastructure and the services are not good enough for people, that need modified cars and things like that. It was just, it wasn't good. Didn't look good. So we'd be lodging a complaint with the taxi company, definitely. Because they're like, we'll just hail one down. And I'm like, from where? So,
y'all did a wonderful thing, T. Think about the mental health impact, the impact on the mental health care system that this one lady has made. 29 years ago, she gave her life.
Yeah.
We're not going to forget
Lisa.
her.
It's the 6th of December here, but I want to share the. I'm not very good at putting things into words, but we were here for how long? 6. So we were here for 4 hours in the end. I handed out a lot of leaflets to keep her story alive. I think, what you're doing is so important, because keeping her story alive is very, very important to keep the awareness going. The media don't talk about it anymore. And the main point is that these practices are still going on. These policies are still in place. These rundowns are still in place and still happening today.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They cannot change the tech. So this is it.
Yeah.
And those kids' toys just broke my heart.
Yeah, I know, mate. It drives me insane. And, when we've stood here before, the last time for 5 hours, last time I came to Melbourne, we saw so many children going in and out.
Oh my God.
Children doing the purification run down.
I've never understood that point of it. Why put a child in that that child is not taken.
I know.
I don't get it.
Yeah. And we're just trying to get the community, the Aussies down here aware. We actually had so many people stop and talk, and 2 or 3 people that stopped and talked with us had actually had their family had been affected by Scientology.
Wow.
People had, there was one guy, if you watch the stream, I talked to a guy
I
and his
will.
family, a couple of them had actually taken their lives because of the debt they were in.
What?
They couldn't pay the debt. And that's a huge thing. A lot of people have decided not to be here anymore because they feel the pressure of the money and all of that, you know. It's disgusting.
Adults in small bodies, you're right.
Yeah, but it's also because it's easier to indoctrinate a child.
Yeah.
That's the dark truth of it. I mean, it's hard enough to indoctrinate an adult, but if a kid who doesn't have world experience, and then, you know, they'll do what you want them to do because you're providing for them. So it's like a huge abusive control tactic.
Yeah. And kids are supposed to be able to trust adults, you know, and look up to them. And, you know. So yeah. Anyway, listen, I'm going to jump off and let you carry on with your vigil, and my thoughts are with everyone, and I'm with you in spirit.
Team, I want to say thank you, because you've put yourself, you've done so many things for this movement to save people and future children. So from the mental health care side, thank you.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, D5. Do you want to take the phone?
Hello. Hey, Power.
This is D5.
Yes.
Hi, nice to
Hello.
meet
How are
you.
you?
I love your hat.
Yeah.
Hat?
I slept on the kitchen floor last night. Yeah, it was good fun. Yeah.
That sounds worse. She had a mattress on the kitchen floor. It's
No,
okay.
I figured, yeah.
I'm a light sleeper, so I can't sleep in the same room with anyone else. So I just decided I'll go out the kitchen. But I still couldn't sleep for a couple of hours. But so I was so hyped up.
What y'all did was very
hyped
powerful.
up, yeah.
Very powerful, and thank you for keeping her memory alive, and thank you for mental health matters everywhere.
Yes,
it does.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. All right. Love you guys.
Yeah.
Love you
too.
too. Thank you. Be
so
careful.
hot. We're so hot.
Okay.
Okay,
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm like 95 degrees is preferable to 12. Like, you know.
And they're in the future.
They are in the future.
Okay, I'm going to remove myself so you can go through that.
Okay.
And I figure we could go through that really quick, because Nico is actually on the way to the org and going to stream from there
Oh yeah, for sure. I think I have to go. There it is. And yeah, so with Lisa, what's sad is that she probably was showing signs before her breakdown, which started with, you know, she was driving and she got into a minor car accident, but her reaction to that, where she just took off her clothes and, you know, she said, you know, I need help. Like, the desperation she must have felt to ask for help in that way, because they cut you off from, like we keep saying, they cut you off from the actual psychiatrists and actual doctors, like in the regular medical system. And they took her to a hospital for evaluation, but essentially put her in a holding until they could find a doctor that was connected to Scientology to help her. And, you know, she said, you know, I want to be in the hospital. I'm feeling like I want to unalive myself. I need help. And they sent people from the church to get her and remove her from the hospital. And they did not call her family, probably because one of the other things they do is they make you disconnect from anybody who's not in the church, because they say that we're suppressive and they say that we don't understand them. And, you know, isn't it better to be around other people who believe the same things that you believe? And I'm sure that if she went through a full psych eval, that she would have stayed under medical watch. Like, she was already in a pretty desperate situation by the time she got in her car accident. And she's not the only one. We've heard other stories from, Nora, from Jenna in her book, talking about having these desperate moments where they attempted to unalive themselves. This is a common reaction when you're put under the kind of physical, mental, emotional isolation that occurs in this alleged cult. And the thing that made it even worse was she had been touted as, she's clear. She's beaten the demons of her mental health. Like, what would they even know about mental health? They don't trust actual doctors, like, so it's just really sad. And the doctors at the hospital were telling them not to remove her from the hospital because they didn't think that she was in a safe state of mind. And the Scientologists they removed her from a safe situation, probably because they were worried that if she got committed to this hospital and was given the chance to talk about what she'd experienced.
Power says Scientologists sign a release form to be extracted from the hospital for religious reasons. Ex-Scientologists referred to it as the kidnap clause.
Yes. But I was going to say, too, that if the church had her list them as her medical contact, there's not much they could have done to keep her there if they wanted to, especially because with safe pointing, there are likely cops and judges that have been safe pointed if they had wanted to. If the hospital had wanted to put their legal foot down, I suppose they could have tried, but they would have been working against the full power of the church, because they would have taken that clause that Power mentioned and said, well, she signed this legal document that says we have were her medical contact for this kind of thing.
Yeah. And what I was reading on here, Haley, that Indigo, the isolation at the Fort Harrison, that's key. I want to press this point that it's very important. The isolation of anybody with a mental illness. Oh, wait, let's let Nico. And that's how the church got her out. Exactly. Power. Exactly.
I just got out of the train area where there's no signal, so
Okay.
just on my way over to the place.
Nico's going to go and let us see by the org there. But when you isolate someone and you don't let doctors around and you don't let medical staff around, and then you remove them from from the hospital, once you're gone, and then they isolated her at the Fort Harrison.
And they started back with their quote unquote Scientology tech, right? Introspection, rundown, minimal communication allowed.
Held her against her will. The clause is a power of attorney.
Yes, that's how they use it, because they say this person is not in their right mind. And it's really actually kind of messed up, because in terms of them also being her employer, it's just super dark.
Very dark. And that's why her story does not need to be forgotten.
Exactly. And so they start in with, and I don't know, like Hubbard is wrong, you guys. If you are going through a mental crisis, the worst thing is to be completely isolated from people who can help you. And it puts you in this vulnerable position where, you know, again, these Scientologists that monitored her 24/7 did not have any credentials to be doing so in this situation. And, you know, they started her on, again, the shakes, the vitamins, but it's not based on her medical record. It's not based on how the science of these drugs actually affect her body and her mental state, because they don't care. They don't care about actual medical science when we're talking about
especially mental health.
They care about isolating her again, preventing her from telling the truth to the public. Because I guarantee you, if the hospital had been like actually asked her, do you feel safe with these people, and she had said no, it would have been a whole thing. And they don't want that, right? They don't
That's
want
the control of the cult, though. That's the control.
that. Yep, they don't want people looking into them. And the thing with these shakes and the tech that they use, it's meant to basically put you in a moldable state so they could get you to agree back with their doctrine. If you just agree with us, and you know, we can move on to the next step. It's very, very manipulative.
Yeah, and then after so long, the body can only take so much, and your mental health can only take so much. In 17 days of isolation, there's nobody that, you know, that's beyond that right there, allegedly, is where.
And just remember, before she went unresponsive, she got into a minor car accident and then thought, maybe they'll pay attention to me
if I take my clothes off.
If I take my clothes off and yell that I need help.
Yeah.
Right? Like how desperate that feeling was.
Okay, so let's let me see. Can we put Nico up?
I just made a little sign here to hold.
Nico, thank you. Can we put Nico up and take that down for really quick?
Yeah, let me see.
Okay, I don't want to. I'm not touching anything.
Switch to. Oh, that's just me. Hang on.
There we go. Nico.
That's
it right there.
10,
there you go.
We are at 10 minutes to open time here. So I made it.
That's a good sign.
Yeah.
That's it.
Unless for some reason it's closed tonight, which is just my luck.
Wow.
No, it's please wipe your feet. Okay, that's all right. I see a few people out tonight, not a huge amount. There's an Oilers game tonight, so a lot of people wearing hockey jerseys game time.
You're standing there for her, though. You're standing there, Nico, for Lisa McPherson.
I can't stay here for too long because my kids get home at 7, but you know, it's almost 6 now.
But you've done something. So thank you.
Exactly.
Yes.
And see, there's no one here to hold it for, really. Maybe if I hold it here when people stop.
Awaken says, taken into the Church of Scientology custody from hospital against medical advice. A little over 2 weeks later, we lost such a bright light. While in the care of Church of Scientology, it is up to us now to let her light shine far and wide.
Yes, and I wanted to say too, like that's the thing is also, it's not just that they did that to her, but then when she's in isolation, they're like doing auditing 24/7.
Huh, I just found something interesting.
Oh, wow, look.
Sorry. EPS was trying to frame me as a dangerous sex offender in order to censor all my photography and lock me up for documenting the drug crisis. Pierre Peter Nault. Interesting. Right across from Scientology.
The
Here's the
things you
lovely
see.
Dianetics, Scientology.
The day that this cult is no longer in existence, this world is
That
a
will
safe
be a
place.
good day.
That's right.
And like I just want to say out there for anybody who might be under the radar or whatever, we understand it's not as simple as just leaving. But
Scientology's a
there
cult.
are organizations out here that are being made and that are in existence to help get you in contact with people who could give you resources.
You're not
And the
alone.
thing in this big old world is there are thousands, I'm just going to say thousands, I could be off the mark there, of people protesting so that you don't have to be afraid, and so that something like what happened to Lisa or Quentin Hubbard or
Whitney Mills.
Whitney Mills doesn't happen to you. Like, that's what we're here for. We care. We want you to know that this world out here is unpredictable. I'm not going to sit here and lie and say it's like peaches and cream all the time, but that's the beauty of it. There's hundreds of people out here waiting to help you. That's a fact.
Definite fact.
I mean, look at
Absolutely.
Anonymous in 2008. They did that on their own. Nobody held, a metaphorical weapon to their head and said, protest this thing. They did that on their own. So we're out here keeping her memory alive because this is the 29th anniversary
Yes.
of her passing. And she is the reason that the original books and exposés happened against Scientology in the first place. Now,
She gave
people
her
were
life.
speaking out against it, but she was the first one who got worldwide notice, not just in the US.
Absolutely. It's very tragic that she passed away due to Scientology.
It's very sad
I
because
was saying it. Sorry, at people.
it's so
Because
sad.
I'm shy. I'm not a yeller.
It's so sad because this lady, I mean, she had such a bright future. She was dealing with a problem.
Scientology's a cult, guys. Remember Lisa McPherson?
And here's the thing is, like, the reason that we keep bringing up these people and highlighting them individually is because they're not going to tell you about them. They would just want this to go away and be swept under the rug so they can move on and let all these beautiful buildings, rot into oblivion while they make you work 14 hours a day. But that's not how we are out here. We don't look at an injustice and just let it go. And if we
We are adding
if we
to
were,
the numbers.
if we
We
were
are adding
bad
to those
people,
numbers every
maybe,
day.
And this is a life, a person, and she's no longer here. But her message has gone far and wide. And
We
she
will shine the
deserves,
light.
yep, she deserves to be remembered.
Yeah. And especially because, your life matters.
Yes.
Your kid's life matters. And it's tough with high demand religious groups and cults where I don't think believing in something is dangerous, but when that belief leads to harm, like, and it's not just Lisa or Quentin, it's like all these people who left are coming out and saying the pressure of being in this led me to try to unalive myself. I lost my brother, my mother, my cousin. Like, it's highlighting the people who have been lost in relation to this organization is it's
Yes,
awful. It's
right here.
awful, the list
Yes,
of names.
it is a senseless tragedy. You're absolutely correct. But out of those tragedies, as Crystal has taught us, ashes rise. And maybe it's time now for the real message to get out that if you ignore someone's mental health, this can happen.
And the
And we
thing
don't
is,
want that.
yes, and the thing is, there's always signs, and the signs may differ between individuals because your body chemistry is different. But there are signs that lead up to breaks like this. They just don't happen randomly. So maybe her driving the car and then getting out and doing all that was like the cherry on top of the signal cake, right?
Yes,
That was like
yes.
the last thing that happened before, but it's important to understand like the study of psychology is ever evolving because we don't know everything about our body chemistry and our brain. And it's important to understand that that's why they update the DSM that they use to help these professionals diagnose people, because the more studies they do and the more knowledge we learn,
The more effective we can.
the more effective treatment we can give. And the fact that Scientology refuses people access to the help they need and has unlicensed people involved in the process is hugely concerning from a neglect perspective.
Rosemary, look at what happened with Rosemary medically, And
Oh
then
yeah, medical treatment. What was the woman?
it-
She's been mentioned in a couple of the memoirs where she was
awakened,
originally.
exactly. Even if Lisa just wanted to leave for whatever reason, she was not allowed to do so. That alone should be an eye opener. If
Yes.
you cannot walk out that door, take a look around and ask why.
Or if you're crying for help and all they're doing is returning you to the people that you need help from as well.
Yeah.
Um,
This is it's a somber day, but it's a day that needs to be remembered.
I had myself muted, but I just had a nice little conversation with the lady that was beside me. She didn't know about Lisa McPherson, but she had heard about Scientology and how terrible they were. So she thanked me for spreading awareness, and it was really sweet.
That is great, Nico. Thank
that's
you.
good.
Yeah.
And see, that's what it is. Where
One seat at a time.
Scientology is a cult.
One seat at a time.
That's true.
Yep. Lisa McPherson died 29 years ago today at their hands. That was awesome.
I like
Yeah,
how
it's like,
that
yeah,
guy
that's
like
true.
he peeked around. That's true, Cuckwalk. But
That was
that's the
great.
thing, guys, is like the
Hmm.
outside world is a messy, confusing place.
Yep.
Let's be honest. However, there's people here willing to help you, willing to give you space to learn and grow at your
Hmm.
own pace, doing what you want to be doing. And the thing with Lisa and other people who have had to, if people have to escape
There's a problem there.
from an
Exactly.
organization, and I'm purposely not, I have never called it the Church of Scientology except
No,
in
it's a
this
cult.
moment. It's not a church. It's an organization,
A high demand,
a high demand
high control.
organization.
Yep.
I'm not even going to call it a religion.
Hmm.
A high demand belief system. And what Barbie was saying about them not seeking help for cancer is I mean, that is so dark. Like, there are just some diseases that need the medical system. I'm all for homeopathic treatment if you're talking to a professional. about your individual situation and that works for you, I'm all for that. But you should never be restricted from the help that you need. And the
You're
fact that people are suffering from cancer and they're not being allowed to go to the doctor and get chemotherapy, or maybe they have a problem with their kidneys and they're not being allowed to get dialysis or whatever the case is, that's really, really bad.
Power says Kirstie Alley died of cancer December 5th, 2022.
Oh my
Wow.
gosh. I
Wow.
just got chills.
I did too, Power. Wow.
Wow.
So, yeah, that's powerful.
I'm just
Wow.
going to let that sink in for a second and not talk for a minute because that just hit me really hard for some reason. Maybe it's because I'm like really passionate about yeah, Barbie, by the time she went to get help, it was too late. That's the thing with diseases like Lisa jumping out of the car and taking her clothes off wasn't the first time that she showed signs that she was breaking down, I am sure. Just like, by the time that cancer can progress to the point where like you're losing coordination and your treatment won't work for you anymore, there are 1,000 signs before that. And the fact that she was made to distrust a system that could have saved her, it's so sad.
Timber, thank you for being here.
Hi, Timber. It's good to see you.
When I was in my high control group, had so many people who wouldn't go to the doctor that weren't in their group, and had some family friends who did not seek medical advice for antibiotics for pneumonia.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And these are things
that have cured them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even my high control ex was always like discouraging me from going to seek medical help for things, so much that I got a lot of stuff like not kind of even in my file for a long time, which is really stupid, but c'est la vie. Better now, and I'm on top of stuff.
I mean, and I'm lucky that I stuck with advocating for myself. I almost gave up, and if I had, I could have been fighting this stuff.
Lisa McPherson died 29 years ago today.
Yeah.
In Florida, in Clearwater, at the hands
Power.
of the Scientology.
Power. We had a very
spreading awareness,
very powerful,
and remembering her because it's she needs to be remembered.
Marcus
Are
and
you in Scientology? You are?
We talked for hours afterwards.
I hope you have a good night. I hope you have a good night. Yeah, you too.
And Power's absolutely right. If someone would, we don't know exactly when Doug, but yeah, Doug could have been the same date also.
Yeah.
That was the person opening. They're 4 minutes late. Flunk. I should have said that. Oh,
And
there's the lights on. Now to see if they activate blind tech because I'm here.
I'm gonna remove.
He knows I'm here and I chatted him. I'm gonna face the window now.
And I just want to say thank you to everybody who is in the chat right now, and especially those of you who did leave Scientology and are always very kindly like reminding us about stuff or correcting it, because as someone who hasn't been in a high control group, it's a lot of information to try to learn, and I can imagine it would be overwhelming to experience learning all this information if you were being like pulled into the group. So I'm just thankful that you guys are always like here to correct us or give us more information, because if we can give the public the correct information, we can fight them with knowledge. That's what they don't want people to have. They didn't want people knowing above, OT level 3. They didn't want, they tried to make people sign NDAs. I just heard the other day that Nicole Kidman's writing a book, and she didn't say that she's not going to talk about Scientology in it. She also didn't say she was. She didn't really answer the question, but it's like the more that people come out and talk about this, the more that we can give a voice to the people who have left, because I think that's the thing, is they took these people's voices away for so long. I mean, Lisa's forever,
Yeah.
right? She's gone, guys. Like her and another amazing light. It's very trigger warning. If you Google Quentin Hubbard, it's very dark and very fishy. So I'm putting that out there. But like Quentin's story, the son of Hubbard, it's tragic. He had such a pure light in this world, and he's I believe allegedly murdered. That's just my opinion. But even Hubbard's own son couldn't escape that, right? Like that
Mhm.
horrible cloud that this organization puts over people. All right, I'm getting on a soapbox, guys. Sorry.
Okay.
um,
I remember I was looking up a few different people from Scientology before, and I came across some spoken poetry by Jamie DeWolf, and it was really, really impactful to me.
what was it?
Jamie DeWolf, I believe he is one of Hubbard's sons.
Oh, D. Wolf.
Yeah, DeWolf.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was called?
No, but it was in like a big crowd. If I was on my YouTube at home, I could probably pull up the link, but StreamYard on phone.
Yeah. I mean, and then look, like all of these people whose passions and talents get roped into this organization, and great grandson of Hubbard, is that through his first wife's kids?
Maybe. Could
Because
be.
guys, I was gonna say fun fact, ironically, Hubbard was a philanderer. This guy who wanted to tell you who you could marry and how long you could be married and if you could have kids, had a wife, had at least 2 kids with her, and then left her, just left. Met his second wife, who he lied to and said their baby died and put her through heck, and then ended up with Mary Sue. So you guys, like, not a good guy.
We have more people inside. I see 3, I believe now.
Elron Jr.'s grandson. Okay, thanks, Power. That the family ties are just deep and ever winding with the Hubbard line.
I'm just holding this in the window. Oh! Is it gonna happen? Oh my God! I'm so excited, guys. Oh no! They're teasing me. They're teasing me.
Oh, the
Seriously.
blind tech has not started. Flung.
Oh, he went for it. He went for it, and then he backed away. I wonder if he's going to see what to
do about your nonviolent
I
blind
know.
tech. Oh my gosh, your
I know. My
scary
non-violent.
sign.
Oh!
My
It's
goodness.
activated. It is activated. Blind tech has been activated, guys. Look at that. There's one. What are they doing? What do we do about her? She's so scary. So scary.
So scary,
Scary
kindly
Effie.
spreading the word about Lisa. Dude, I I'm conflicted about how I feel.
Oh, blind tech. Ooh, this. Oh, there we go. That's my first
Oh,
time, guys. It's my
ooh,
first time.
she made eye
I did it.
contact before
I
the
did
blind
it.
tech. She looked right at you
I
once you
wasn't
put it
even looking.
down. Okay, well,
I wasn't even looking at her.
she
Oh, they can
looked
do
at
the
your
other ones.
head. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Have a wonderful night.
Ooh, the blind tech is faulty.
McPherson.
Only halfway on that one.
They're only halfway. Only halfway. Flunk. I wish I had a pen.
There's a guy over there. Oh, also,
I
I
wonder if
wanted
I
to
do
say really
actually.
quick,
Yeah.
the other reason that we
There it goes.
to highlight Lisa's story is I believe Minkoff was also allegedly involved in her
Yes.
quote treatment, and
Yes, he was.
uh, y'all medical boards listening out here, that man should never have a license again. He's been involved in way too many quote treatment plans where people have ended up in worse straits than if he hadn't been involved.
Sorry, I'm just laughing so much because you know what? There's one window. I'm pretty sure it doesn't have a blind on it. Right here. I'm not going to give myself away yet, though.
Don't let
If
them
I
know you
want
know
to.
about the window tech.
Yep. Yep. They're
I thought it
so
was really
open
good
to
that you
questioning that they closed down the blinds because I'm questioning them about Lisa McPherson's death. That's so weird. So
isn't
weird,
it?
guys.
And you're just nicely educating the people. Minkoff was guilty of malpractice and lost his
They
license.
forgot a
Yes.
corner.
However, at
They
some
forgot a
point, I
corner.
believe I could be wrong, but I think he should have lost it forever.
So if I kick myself out, I'm sorry. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm still here. Good. My child was texting me. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, in relation to Lisa's case, it was suspended, but only for a year and 1 year plus 2 years probation. So I don't know if he then got relicensed in a different field, but it's so sad to me that that's what you're up against. Like, imagine I really feel for Lisa's family, Whitney's family, insert name of Scientologists who had, medical issues families, because they get cut off from their family member. And I can't imagine that, the mothers of these people who aren't in the cult, but their child is, that they wouldn't fight for their child's best interests. Do you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So it's like to
Absolutely.
learn about the very public and tragic death of your family member the way that Lisa's family did is heartbreaking in and of itself, because they didn't even get the respect that most regular people get, which would be like a call from the police or, someone involved in an investigation. Like, that must be the worst position to be put in as her family too, that, your loved one has just passed away in this very, very suspicious way, and you don't
Do you
even
guys
get
know about
to
Scientology?
mourn that.
No, I'm not for it. I'm protesting it. They're so open to questions, they closed their blinds on me. They did not care one bit. They were like, no, thank you. Rude.
Yes, right?
You're
Nico,
welcome,
one
Awakens.
voice standing at their door peacefully holding a sign of education. If this gets a reaction, imagine when we have thousands come together in one location.
hmm If I had tape, I'd leave it taped up here somewhere, but I think they just tear it down anyway. So that's usually is. I'll keep it for next time.
I need to get some crane tech or ladder tech so I can see how high I could tape a sign.
Ooh, that's
No,
awesome.
in Chicago, anything you do has to be easily removable. So I can't like staple gun it and wood glue it down, unfortunately. But yes, we were gonna mention that in this in a slide part of the slideshow points that we
Oh,
have
she was a
been, but
Scientologist. Going in.
yeah, so Ben brings this up, which we'll go over again with the slideshow, but on her autopsy, it said the death was identified as thrombosis of the left main pulmonary artery due to bed rest and severe dehydration. So I just don't understand how anybody could think isolating you in a room and not feeding you right would help. Just, it's so sad. Oh my gosh,
It
right?
breaks
And
my heart
Attorney
so
Maxon's
much.
daughter, it's just like the more you dig into these deaths surrounding the oh no, it's okay, Andra. Actually, it does help if you put comment or question in all caps to see it easier in the chat. Most of us here have glasses and or just vision issues in general. But I think it's amazing that we in how many minutes have you been there? And we've already seen you talk to at least 7 people, including a Scientologist. Like, and that's the thing is like if you're, you know, I noticed that if I just approach them and just ask them a question like, or say something like chatty, like it's cold out, right?
Definitely.
Chasing. Oh, right. So for anyone not in knowledgeable, squirrel is a term that Scientology uses for
No, Nico, Indigo. Now, Moxon's daughter went into an electric grid
oh my gosh.
chasing a squirrel, supposedly. That's Kenneth
Yeah.
Moxon, the one, their attorney. She unalived herself by throwing herself in an electric grid.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Guys, it's
And he's still there. He's still defending this.
I mean, the thing
I said,
about
wait, okay, wait, yes, go
auditing
again.
that's really
Live
nefarious.
legislation. Yeah.
So for someone who doesn't believe in psychology, Hubbard did a really good job of renaming some key aspects of modern psychology for
Allegedly.
his cult. But
Yeah.
oh, I had a point. Where was it? We were talking about the lawyer. So auditing is how they get you to strip away your boundaries so that you don't have any, where you're forced to tell them thing after thing until they decide that your session is over, which they tell you isn't being recorded. Spoiler warning, it is. And then if you try to leave, they use it against you. So my question is, if you won't even consider leaving for your own child, what do they have on you?
Katie, thank you for this.
It's so sad.
Thank you for this.
Yeah.
Never forget her.
Yeah.
Never forget her.
Never. I don't, but I want to be a therapist at some point. So I've been researching high control groups because there's a lack of
There's a lack of
psychiatric support of people who understand the basis of what people obviously every high control group causes trauma in a different way, but there are some basic models and techniques, and I was like, this might be the group that I want to be a psychiatrist for or a
well,
therapist for in the future.
I am definitely already enrolled in the next class, so I'm going to be on my way to doing that, and I hope that I can make a difference in this world with that.
And I wasn't in a high control authoritarian group, but I was in a almost 4-year relationship with a manipulative, abusive person. And I've had very close friendships with people that were very manipulative. So, yeah, my brain just soaks up all this information like a sponge.
Nico, what an amazing person you are. Thank you.
And comment, Shelley Miscavige's mother died under tragic circumstances, supposedly self-deletion, but in a manner she wouldn't be physically
That is-
capable of doing.
Her story is not physically possible coming from someone that works in the medical field. There's no way. I don't care what scenario you try to give me. That did not happen. And I'm not even going to say allegedly. That's not physically capable of happening.
It's not factually capable.
No.
When you look into these situations and allegedly little Davy, sorry, I can't help it. I'm only like 2 inches taller than him. But he was not supposed to be where he is right now. He
No.
basically did a hostile takeover of Scientology and put doubt onto Pat and Annie Broker, who, you know, I can see why sometimes Scientologists who leave the Sea Org and by default the cult, sometimes the cult
Got you, pal.
might still believe in the self-help aspects
Mhm.
that they've been exposed to, and they still have belief the tech as Hubbard wrote it could work. Like I get where they're coming from in a sense.
The power says
Oh, that's
the rock
funny.
will flow Barnett
I
used
just
this.
walked away, right? And the guy just went in.
Oh,
They're definitely looking for me now. Oh my God, this is hilarious. Okay. Well, it's not like I have a job for them to make me lose anyway. So.
But someone popped something up a second ago before I
Yeah,
believe the headshot was delivered. Yes.
yeah, that's why I said power. There's no way. I mean, this is, I don't know. Awaken. Why is it so easily accepted? So easy to label like that. Like it should just be swept under the rug and move on like nothing happened. These lives were cut short, then lied about. Unacceptable.
Yeah. I agree. And you know, it's
she could have done it. She could have. And I guess everybody else, I don't know.
so here's the thing, power, I
Nico,
think,
thank you.
and to other people. Hi, cutie.
Thank you, Nico.
Thank you, Nico. Yeah, you're the cutie.
Yeah.
Pretty girls, ugly faces.
I appreciate you going down there just to walk
Me
for
too.
Lisa. Thank you.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get out of here soon
Okay.
because I gotta go buy toilet paper. But you know what I mean.
Well, we appreciate you and
We do.
for your
Hi.
support
Please
and
remember
for
Lisa
going down there
McPherson
too.
today.
Oh.
She
A
was a
control
fun
group
hostess.
can be
Oh,
only
my
2
camera was
people.
facing the wrong way.
We'll creep in slowly without you knowing it. Don't judge yourself. Yeah.
Katie, you're right. Katie's right. Nika, thank you for what you did. Thank you for going down there. Thank you for
Yes.
standing for Lisa.
Thank you so much. See this lady right here. I'm gonna peek in for 1 second from the side, okay?
I'm gonna remove myself.
Lady with the white hair right here. I don't know if you can see her. Anyways, I'm leaving now. I'm out of here. Oh, here, I'm going to leave StreamYard, but I'll go back to the chat.
Okay, thank you, Nico.
Thank you so much, Nico. Good to see you. Thank
You're
you for that.
welcome. You're very welcome. Bye.
Bye. And Power says, I believe Flo shot herself in the chest, but not the headshot. That's what I said. Who?
But
I'm
I
a
mean, just
medical.
imagine
I'm in
the
medical. I guess it could be done. Stranger things have happened, but I don't know how that would have happened.
okay, so not Scientology related death, but the original private investigator that was hired by Courtney when
Thank you,
Kurt was
Ben.
first discovered worked with a documentary during lockdown because at some point he thought she was shady, and they discovered through going over everything that there had been crime scene photographs like 20, like something like old cameras where you got like the ring film that has to be developed. There was something like 10 canisters of undeveloped photographs involved. And I'm going to segue back. It's when these people linked to the cult are high enough, aka related to Miscavige in some way, shape, or form, they've safe pointed people throughout the investigative process, right? So if the pocket's greedy enough and they give enough money, they could get these medical examiners, and in fact tried to bully the medical examiner for Lisa to change his ruling.
And they did that.
And they did not, because they're an ethical ME. But in terms of the one you were talking about, is I would love to know if they got,
That's another.
did they get crime scene photos?
It's out there.
Was the crime scene compromised before the photos were taken? Because it does matter in those situations, like were they right or left-handed? How tall were they versus how long the weapon was?
Yeah, but there's deep dives, there's information out there on that, and it's just
And
there's
it's
so
just
much.
so sad. Like there's so many people whose only, they see their only way out is to do that because they are so afraid of the outside. They've been made so afraid of us. And that's the real tragedy, is that we're not here to hurt you. The courage it must take to finally, try to leave that situation. It's just sad.
And this is where mental health needs to remain at the forefront. This is why I wanted to because
yes.
this is the lack of mental health care, because they are so against it.
Yes. And I want to just highlight, so we kind of went over how the auditing, the nonstop auditing would further increase her guilt and shame and erode her sense of her reality.
Oh, yeah.
But on top of that, they have this utterly wrong and sickening tactic that they use where they say that basically any wrong that's done to you was your fault because you made it happen. Like through not following the rules, like anything bad that happened to you, you pulled it in.
Yeah. And it's not, that, but when you're indoctrinated in that, you don't understand it, you don't realize it.
Yeah. And let me just tell if anybody ever tells you that an action they chose to do is your fault, that's wrong. Like that's objectively wrong. And to put people who, I mean, they even do this to addicts, right? They have a front business called Narcanon, if you're an addict out there, do not trust Narconon. There's not going to be access to methadone or any psychiatric help that you might need to actually heal from what you've been through. They're just going to throw you in a room and throw Scientology tech at you.
Yeah, I mean, when you have
You
emotional,
know,
when you have emotional and physical neglect, first of all, that's gonna your brain is gonna shrink because you're not getting what your muscles need to stay alive. First of all, that's mental or physical. But you know, like it says on here, Scientology viewed her breakdown as a spiritual failure rather than a medical issue. That's the difference. She
yes,
pulled it in.
right. And just Hot Desert Chick says, I've been thinking about the stigma of mental health issues for a long time. If you had any type of mental health diagnosis, your insurance could drop you or raise your premiums. And
Yes.
that's the case because even without Scientology involved, just for my personal experience, it's again, it's the unaliving ideology, right? It's the breakdown of your reality and your ability to
Yeah.
cope. And luckily nowadays, in certain, I think it's state by state, there are protections that say like companies can't discriminate against you if what you're getting is preventative care for that. So for example, like if I go to therapy and I need a medication because it prevents me from thinking like that and it prevents me from putting myself into a dangerous psychosis, then they can't go, oh, because you could be a danger to yourself, we won't cover you. So
Yeah.
nowadays, people understand that, like, in order to have preventative measures, you need that support from your medical
Yeah.
business. I don't know. Yeah.
Marie says Kyle Brennan. That's another name, another one. You know, another death in the cult of Scientology claimed to be self-deletion. Investigation by police say allegedly unprofessional. Was allegedly unprofessional. There's a website about him by his mother. There sure is.
Oh, Kyle, Kyle, Kyle. Yep, I know that name.
It's actually a federal law, right? Hot Desert Chicks, you're absolutely right.
Thank you for
Yes, Doug
correcting me
did
with
do a
the
video
shirt.
about Kyle. He did. He did.
And see, this is why it's so important for us to say, you know, all of our health is linked together.
Your body's linked together.
It is.
Absolutely.
Keela's like, you're preaching to the choir here.
I've been screaming this from the rooftops.
Yeah. But see, emotional and physical neglect,
Yeah,
plus the auditing, plus the like,
her already state of mind that she was in, you know.
or her body. I mean, I'm just going to refer to my own personal experience again because it's the only thing I can hand to illustrate. But before they found my cancer and I was getting sick all the time and I was low on vitamins and my body wasn't taking the nutrients in that I needed, it caused some serious issues. And that's a key point of Scientology is they punish you for having low stats by only feeding you rice and beans and basically like depriving you of any control over your physical mental state.
And thus we go back to the bite model.
Mhm.
It's all
You
control.
know. And they said, you know,
What's the next one? What do you have? Do you have another one?
I do, yes. So this was just some of the tech, you know, they
Yeah,
use
I'm going to
used
look at
on
it.
her. Well, this goes more into
So this started. Thank you, Awaken, for putting that in the chat. That's Doug's video. Yes.
oh,
Yeah.
thank you
So
so
on
much.
Lisa's physical decline, there. I know we talk about psych, you know, the mental and the physical, but because we're all one body. The severe dehydration. Okay, they're saying they gave her the shakes and
5 to
the
10 days
supplements.
without adequate fluids.
The body can usually go 3 days without water, and that's about it. And let's see, malnutrition, you know, 108. She dropped to 108 pounds.
And
Then
what was
I,
she was
and
what
then
was she in her 30s when she passed away?
you're gonna have to go back up. I'm not on camera for a reason.
Oh no, you're good.
But here's the thing: they had people, and then yeah, you're absolutely going to get pulmonary embolism in your lungs because you don't have enough fluid to break down those clots. You know, I mean, they're just that's what's going to happen. That's what the body does. But here's the thing: what was she going through mentally?
She was 36.
Yeah, what was she going through mentally? You know, this whole time,
36.
and the people that were there, she was under 24-hour watch. This is stuff that's it. It shouldn't have happened. What else do you have?
Oh, she was only 2 years older than I am right now.
Yeah,
So at 36 years old, she was 108 pounds.
yeah.
That's, and then, they're not bathing her. They're not letting her exercise or
They couldn't touch her.
cleaning her. That she doesn't have sanitary living conditions. So on top of that, she's, getting skin lesions. And then she got a blood clot in her lungs from all of this stress.
Well, no, it's because she had no fluid in her
And
body.
no fluid in her, but
Yeah, I
just
mean, you're gonna clot.
she was so close. And again, to reiterate the points, denial of professional care due to their anti-psychiatry stance. And then on top of that, instead of calling an ambulance when she was unresponsive,
This is where the medical neglect, or this is actually where if I were the authorities, which I'm not, but if I was, this is where I would have doubled down as an advocate on the way that she was treated. They should have called for medical help. They didn't, and they didn't even
yeah,
call
Katie.
EMS. They put her in a car. And Katie's right about this.
And they
The
had a
brakes didn't
hospital
even
around the corner.
and they took her 45 minutes away. That is medical neglect. That is manslaughter, murder, whatever you want to call it.
And look whose name is there.
Whitney
Huh.
Mills. Same doctor
Dr. Minkoff.
and Whitney Mills. Because, what
And
would drive
that's
a woman?
nefarious, guys.
It
Like
was an OT8. Whitney Mills was an OT8 when she set herself on fire under 24-hour watch.
desperation, man. I mean,
She thought she had cancer. She had Lyme's disease.
that still is Lyme disease can either attack your joints, your heart, or your brain. And
But
if
she
you
did
don't
not
get the
have,
proper,
but I'm saying
um,
she did not have, there was no cancer in her body. The doctor told her all this. And so she had no way. Whitney Mills, she did not know that she was not that sick. She thought there was
but
nothing else to
the
do
thing
but
is,
to drop
so,
her body.
but I would say this, having my mom go through Lyme disease, like I
Yeah, I
said,
would,
like
yeah, it's not a
it's a
walk in the park.
fatal,
Yeah, it is.
it's a fatal disease, and it causes a lot of pain. And unless you get the right treatment early enough,
She didn't have either one though. That's what
and
they made
she
her
didn't,
think she had.
yeah.
She did not have them. It was all in her. She did not have cancer. She did not have Lyme's disease. That's what Minkoff told her she had.
And
Allegedly.
see, that's the thing is, this man needs to be blasted on every corner
Look,
of the
power,
internet
yeah,
so people
power.
don't.
She didn't have either.
She didn't have either, but
No.
my main point is though, like, if the person that they're deferring to is this neglectful and this uneducated in their diagnoses, like, we can't let the world forget that, because if how many other people unrelated to Scientology could he have ruined their lives of diagnosing them incorrectly? You know what I mean? Or putting that fear in them. And then what do? They say, oh, you might have this terminal illness, but we're not going to let you go get actual help.
What is the term that they use that she requested to see I don't know the terminology, so I'm not going to act like I do. I don't. But she did request to speak to someone that would ultimately help her drop her body.
Yeah. And I don't know if he.
Oh, can we share that?
Yeah, let
Howard?
me look it up really quick.
Can we share? Do we have your permission to share that? I've been sharing some of your information.
Let's see.
And Awakened, that's a really good question. Why do they still have their license to practice? Why?
Um, is it the
How-
negligence homicide one, paralyzed? Or I mean, power?
Huh?
I'm speechless on this. These people lost their lives from medical neglect, medical abuse. Is that the one? You got it? I'm gonna remove myself real quick.
You're good.
Call, and imagination inflation, where imagining events makes them feel real.
Where did it go?
Neurologically, areas like the hippocampus and prefrontal cortex blend real and imagined details.
Not the right one. Mhm.
Both true and false memories activate.
He's look right here. He
Next
says he's
one.
gonna find the hashtag. Work very hard on everything for sure. Like droves of information.
Yeah, I do see one for negligence. I kind of cycled to the next one. But yeah, it's like how many people need to experience this pattern before the public wakes up and gets angry about it?
Agree.
And I think the great thing that Leah's documentary did is it shoved it in people's face to the point where it couldn't be ignored.
Yeah, and then
and
you got us to the never ends that will amplify that voice until the very end.
yes, and hold accountability.
Yes.
It's also that you know, it you have to hold people in positions of power accountable for what they did when they were or didn't do when they were in those positions. Because otherwise there won't be a closed loop on it. It'll just be a scar that was left open.
Yeah. And it's really, really
Lisa McPherson, a Scientologist, achieved clear in 1995, but soon showed signs of emotional instability. After a minor car accident in November, where she stripped naked and sought help, Scientology staff removed her from the hospital against medical advice. She was isolated at their Fort Harrison hotel for 17 days under the introspection rundown, where communication was forbidden, and she received no medical care. She underwent e-meter auditing, which likely worsened her mental state through brainwave entrainment and psychological pressure. Dehydration, malnutrition, and neglect led to a fatal pulmonary embolism. Her autopsy revealed severe dehydration, weight loss, and unsanitary conditions. Scientology's refusal to allow psychiatric or medical intervention made her death preventable. Lisa McPherson, a Scientologist.
Oh, she put the link on your Facebook. It looks like. I'll have to explore your channel, Power. You have a lot of good shorts. But yeah, I mean, look at how much this brought people together, right? And Um, and I think that's the tough part, right? It's
If you haven't seen Sins of Scientology, also they have the podcast over Lisa McPherson, and it's worth it.
yes, their whole channel is amazing. Just how could you look at these beautiful people and the fact that they're not here anymore?
Yeah.
And
I
it
know.
not hurt. You know what I mean? Just thinking like,
But we think
God,
differently.
I would, okay, metaphorically burn
Mhm.
down the world if my family member suddenly got cut off from me. You know,
We all have.
you know,
We
and
we all know.
I
We
really
know.
hope that that Liz Ferris's situation
Awakens is tempting.
right? I really hope her situation with her dad and her lawyer goes well, because if we can find people with the spine to double down and fight for what's right, they will lose another aspect of control over the outside world. Like if Liz can get her dad out through the literal law,
Yeah, I've got another one here
you
that
know,
I finally
like,
got it. So let me see if I
oh,
can
you
get
got
it.
it? Yeah. I stopped sharing in case you needed to
Okay. Yeah,
share your
I've got it.
screen.
I just need to stop it before it starts, please, if it will. Okay. All right. So here we go. I'm gonna try to bring this over. Not
And
much.
you know, it's not just Lisa that was hurt by this. There was people who started a foundation for her to try to get her justice, and they were fair game to the ends of the earth. You know,
Yeah.
so
Oh, wait. Here we go. Can you not hear it?
I can't. Is it
I figured
playing?
it was. Nah, I don't know. I'm having issues.
It's okay. I'll see if I can find it here.
No, I need to get the. Oh, God, come on. Just one thing.
You know, and then I mean, I wouldn't be surprised though if we hear about more people that are like Claire and Rinder and whatever's age coming out of Scientology with like cancer, because they were having children and inexperienced young adults do construction projects, probably around asbestos and other chemicals that are known to cause that disease.
Yeah.
So, and then, you know, medically neglecting these people to the point where,
Okay, I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna paste it in the chat because my browser's giving me problems over here. I'm fixing to be kicked off my internet. I don't know. It's storming. I'm sure. Howard, thank you so much. I'll put that on there. That's the short. I'm not able to get it to play.
okay, I can grab it really quick. See if I can.
I'm gonna get all these technical difficulties as we go out. You know, I'm working on them. I'm just very grateful for all of you that are here that bear with us for this.
Listen, the rate at which technology changes as someone who grew up on the cusp of it becoming more common, like we're just humans doing our best,
That's it. Learning together. That's right. Awaken.
learning together.
And
See if it lets me
yeah,
go
and
this
I'm
way.
gonna probably leave this to you. I'm gonna have to go. I've got to go take care of my health now.
Yes,
And,
please do. I know you have trouble doing it, but please rest.
I am, and I want to thank everybody here, y'all. Please, it's going to be a little transition here, you know, for the next for the next few weeks. I'm going to be here as long as I can. Obviously, it'll be through the weekend now because, insurance. But I'm going to have one. I wanted to have something planned for tomorrow night that is a little bit lighter. I bought some new games. I bought some new things, and I'm hoping that maybe we could, just kind of hang out and just talk with one another, make some more connections. And that's my plan for tomorrow.
Oh, that sounds like a good time.
Yeah. So if you, don't have anything to do, we'll please come here, and we will just have some nice breathers. And I need that really bad. I need some connection, and I need some self-care, and I like it with my
Yes.
friends. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I'm going to step away. Awakened, Indigo, Power, everyone. Nico, thank you so much for all you do to educate people. And never forget Lisa McPherson.
Never forget. We'll
Never
stay on a
forget.
bit longer, but have a good night, Keela.
It
Thank
disrupts
you for taking
immune,
care of yourself.
endocrine, and
Yes, I think she popped off already. Okay, let's see.
dysfunction, weight changes, hormonal imbalances, and psychological issues such as anxiety or depression, mimicking conditions like Lyme or ovarian cancer. Although she didn't have those diseases, chronic stress likely caused HPA axis imbalance, producing severe physical and emotional symptoms that were difficult to diagnose accurately. Whitney Mill's symptoms, resembling Lyme disease and ovarian cancer, may be linked to HPA axis dysregulation, which occurs when chronic stress overwhelms the body's stress response system. The HPA axis regulates cortisol, and when dysregulated, it disrupts immune, endocrine, and nervous system functions. This leads to symptoms like fatigue, pain, inflammation, immune
Oh,
dysfunction,
thanks, Aria.
weight
Have a good
changes,
night.
hormonal imbalances, and psychological issues such as anxiety or depression, mimicking conditions like Lyme or ovarian cancer. Although she didn't have those diseases, chronic stress likely caused HPA axis imbalance, producing severe physical and emotional symptoms that were difficult to diagnose accurately.
Yeah, isn't that interesting how it's almost like the longer that you stay in this organization and the worse the control gets. It's almost like you either break and leave, or it just causes horrible repercussions for those who feel like they can't escape. And that's why we do these videos and have linked up together to spread this awareness. Because the thing is, you're not alone. As much as there's issues that people have with individuals, Aftermath Foundation, SPTV, now there's another person in our community starting an organization called SAFE. We're all here to make sure that there's access to people and services that you need. Yes, standing up against injustice together. And that's however you can, whether you're only making video content or you're just modding for people. Like, don't sell yourself short. Every person involved in this community is important, and we see you and we appreciate you and what you're doing for us. Like Keela said, if even one person shows up to the chat, or even if no one shows up to a live and I'm just talking to a wall all day, I would prefer to talk to a wall all day if it means that we can help people. And I think it's incredibly brave that there are people who escaped, who took the step to leave and come to this wide, scary world that they had been, made to feel afraid of. That takes huge internal and mental fortitude to say, what I'm experiencing now is bad enough, but now I'm going to trust this big scary world. And like we keep saying, it's if they're trying to convince you that we're scary, but you see us helping others, just ask yourself, what's there to be scared of? You know? Lisa McPherson was 2 years older than I am when she passed away. That gives me chills, guys. 2 years into my future, I will be the same age as she was when she passed away. It's so sad. You know, next year is 30 years. And her memory is of this bright, pure light, this good heart, somebody who wanted to deal with whatever pushed her into Scientology's hands, whatever she was going through with before she joined. And she wanted to get better. She wanted to get through whatever she felt, whatever she had experienced, so she could help people. Just think about that for a minute. You know, could there be an alternate timeline where she didn't get involved with Scientology? Maybe she would have been a journalist fighting against them. Maybe she would have been a doctor or a nurse or a school teacher and touched all these people's lives. Who knows what she could have been capable of? That's beautiful, Candy. I do too, but I have my background on, so I can't get my camera to focus. But I have this candle. I'm intending to go out tomorrow to the downtown and do some stuff for her and the other people that we've lost in regards to this organization. And look, she passed away, but look how many people came together to remember her, to fight against this evil business. You know, I think that stands the test of time. We, in her name, we are doing good. We are educating. We are providing support for the people who have had Scientology touch their lives, who've escaped Scientology. And yes, Kate D, I agree with that one. She's helping people, just not in the way we would have wanted for her. Yes. I believe the spirit of those we lost walk with us, especially those we've lost to this cult. That's just a firm belief that I have from my own personal experiences. And you know, the slideshow that the points that we put together to talk about it's just important to remember we on the outside see the worth of the individuals who have been in this cult, who have escaped, or who have perished at the hands of this cult. And I want to say to anybody who has escaped or who has had their own experience with the pressures of the cult and trying to unalive yourself, I am so happy you failed. I am so happy that you got out and that you found your voice and that we were able to listen to your story and that you didn't let this group blacken your heart and make you afraid to in a way to trust people, because I think even sharing your knowledge about the cult or your personal experience is another brave thing that you've done. But Lisa and, you know, the people who have perished at the hands of the cult because they were successful in their attempt, your memories will not be forgotten. That's why we're here, to make sure that these people aren't forgotten, to make sure that as we push on many fronts to end this cult, that we keep their memory alive and in the public, maybe not the public focus like we would like it to be, but you would be surprised how many people I've spoken to who say, I watched a video on YouTube, or I got recommended a short and then I got the bug and deep dived, and now I'm here because I see an injustice has happened and is continuing to happen, and I'm not okay with it. You know? And I agree, Candy says, I believe in honoring the dead in a respectful way, and sharing what happened to Lisa McPherson with the world is a beautiful thing. I agree. And it's my belief that by remembering their light and remembering their heart, that anytime you show support to someone in a chat, anytime you've moderated for somebody or suggested a sign T could make, or just said, I was a lurker and now I'm saying hi in the chat for the first time, that all matters. You know, Lisa matters. Every voice and every person in this movement matters. And your mental health matters. And that's the thing is, with Lisa, because of the malnourishment and stuff leading up to her breakdown, she probably showed signs of depression and lethargy and signs that she wasn't okay. It's just that once people went clear in the earlier days, they were sort of like dragged into the forefront of everything, you know? And yeah, it's just amazing the people that we've drawn together in this movement. I mean, look, there's Perth in Australia. There's our very large and kindly loud Canadian faction. There's people in Germany, the Netherlands, Scandinavia, Paris, England, all over the place.
I want to hop in real quick and say,
You have to
this
go pretty soon,
community-
though. Yeah, we should probably wrap up soon. But
Thank you.
I just
Thank you.
wanted to see if I could pull up one more thing really quick before we do, because I don't know if she put it up yet.
This community, though, has welcomed me in ways that I never imagined. And our fights might have started out differently, but they all go towards fighting injustice and fighting against travesties that should not ever happen. I did not know what I am learning now about this And I am even more angry. And I'm honored to stand up and to fight with you guys, because this should not happen. And I want to thank you all, because if you guys had not done what you have done, I would not know what I know. And we have to continue doing what we're doing, because this is so important. We've got to be the voice for people that cannot use theirs right now. We've got to do it. And I'm coming back down.
No
I
worries.
just needed to say that.
I'm trying to search T's video from yesterday so I can end this with the song that they sang. I think it's this one, maybe. Oh, not that one. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to. She has a couple videos from her recent one, and I'm trying to find where they sang. You know what? I can't find it, but they did sing Amazing Grace. Even telling friends and family what you've learned about Scientology in many cases will lead them to telling their friends. Yes, the chain goes through. And then one more message, and then we should probably. Oh, hi, college level Hogwarts. Good to see you.
College.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see a lot of familiar names. I hope to commemorate the memory of Lisa and the time that I have before joining a Zoom meeting. And see, that's amazing. You know, just that so many people think of her and are here to put our collective thoughts towards her story. It goes a long way, guys. But yeah, I think this is probably a good time to wrap up, as Misha said she has to go soon. So just really quick, guys, for mental health matters, like Keela said earlier, we're working in the background with Red and the other mods to kind of set up myself and some others stepping in to help Keela moving forward. Because as you know, with her needed surgery and everything. So we'll keep you guys updated, and thank you everybody for coming to remember Lisa. We appreciate you. I'll just do a quick scroll up here. Thank you, Barbie. Thank you, Red. Hi, Heather Mack. Thank you, Candy's Life, Misha, Kathy Shoggins, College Level Hogwarts. I just really love your name so much. Kate Delight, Ben Bacon Bits, Power Lies to Paralyze. Thank you guys for all coming and remembering Lisa tonight. Nico, thank you for going out to the org, and for T for popping in from Melbourne, and Tamber June, and Aria, who I know she popped off, but thank you for coming and helping mod. Appreciate you guys. And to everybody who's with us in spirit, like I know people were busy tonight, but we love and appreciate each and every one of you, and we hope to see you in the future. Have a good night, guys.